The bell above the bakery door chimed softly, almost apologetically, as if it knew the words that were about to be spoken would wound the air. The man standing near the counter, tailored coat, polished shoes, the unmistakable stillness of someone used to being obeyed, froze when he heard the woman's voice tremble. Excuse me," she said quietly, eyes lowered. "Do you have an expired cake? My daughter, she asked for one. Sia, for one." For a moment, the scent of sugar and vanilla felt unbearably heavy. Millionaire Adrian Wolfe had walked into Magnolia Crumb's bakery to escape a boardroom full of liars and congratulators. Bolere. He never imagined that a single sentence from a stranger would slice deeper than any hostile takeover ever had. The cashier hesitated. Adrian turned, slowly, drawn by something he didn't understand yet. The woman stood thin and tired, clutching a little girl's hand. The child's jacket was too small, the sleeves frayed, but her eyes shone with a stubborn kind of hope. Hope was dangerous, Adrian thought. He had buried his years ago. "What did you say?" The cashier asked gently. The woman swallowed. "An expired cake, or yesterday's leftovers. Anything sweet." "She's turning 6 today." The little girl looked up at her mother. Mama, it's okay if it's broken," she said with a smile so brave it hurt to look at. "I just want to blow candles." Something cracked inside Adrian Wolfe. Lena Harper hated asking. Every step toward that counter had felt like walking barefoot over glass. But what choice did she have? Her daughter, Mia, had been counting down the days on the wall with chalk. 6 tiny lines for 6 years of life, each one rubbed off carefully at night before bed. Lena had promised her a cake. Promises were heavy things when you were poor. 2 months ago, Lena had lost her job at the textile factory when it shut down without warning. No severance, no explanation. Her savings vanished into rent, medicine, and overdue electricity bills. She had sold her wedding ring last week. Today, her purse held exactly $3.17. Not enough for a cake. So she had practiced the words all morning. Expired cake. Leftover cake. Please don't look at me like that. She didn't know a billionaire was listening. Adrian Wolfe was a name people whispered with awe or resentment. At 42, he owned half the city without ever truly walking its streets. His empire, Wolfe Industries, touched everything from real estate to tech. He was known as ruthless, brilliant, untouchable, but not heartless. Not always. He remembered another bakery, another time, another life. His mother, Evelyn Wolfe, had once asked for a day-old loaf of bread when Adrian was 7. He remembered the way her shoulders had slumped, the way she had squeezed his hand afterward, whispering, "One day, it'll be different." She never lived to see that day. Adrian stepped closer before he could stop himself. "There are no expired cakes," the cashier finally said, regret softening her voice. "But I can give you a discount on." "It's okay," Lena said quickly, already pulling Mia back. "Thank you for listening." "No," Adrian said sharply, surprising even himself. "It's not okay." Both women turned to him. He saw fear flicker in Lena's eyes. Fear of judgment, of pity, of being seen. "When is her birthday?" Adrian asked, nodding toward Mia. Mia lifted her chin proudly. Today, sir." "Here." "The happy birthday," he said quietly. She beamed. "A thank you." Adrian looked at the display, rows of perfect cakes untouched, waiting to be chosen. Then he looked back at Lena. "Oh, please," she said softly, misunderstanding. "I wasn't asking for charity. I'll leave." Adrian raised a hand. "I know, Tom." He turned to the cashier. "I'll take the biggest cake you have, and candles, and whatever else kids like these days." Lena shook her head violently. No, I can't." "You can," Adrian said gently now, "because I want you to." The cashier didn't ask questions. She moved fast. Mia gasped as the cake was brought out, eyes wide. "Mama, it's huge." Lena's vision blurred. "Sir, I don't know how to thank you." Adrian felt something warm and painful in his chest. "You already did," he said. "You reminded me." They sat at a small table by the window. Adrian hadn't planned on staying, but leaving felt wrong. Mia insisted he help light the candles. "Make a wish," Adrian said. Mia closed her eyes tightly. "I wish Mama won't cry anymore." Lena broke. Adrian looked away, jaw clenched. That should have been the end of it. A small kindness. That should have been the end of it. A fleeting moment, but life rarely stops where it should. As Lena packed the leftover cake carefully, Adrian asked, "What do you do for work?" She hesitated. "I used to work at Miller Textiles, sewing line supervisor." Adrian stiffened. Miller Textiles was a subsidiary company, one he had approved closing last quarter. "How long?" he asked. 11 years, Lena said simply. The word closed echoed in Adrian's mind, suddenly heavy with faces, not numbers. Would you like a job? He asked before thinking. Lena laughed softly, bitterly. Sir, I can't even afford bus fare tomorrow. I'm serious. She stared at him. Why? Adrian thought of his mother, of promises, of Mia's wish, because sometimes, he said, the world needs to be corrected. The challenges didn't vanish overnight. Lena didn't trust him. She showed up late the first day, convinced it was a cruel joke. Adrian's assistant, Clara Hughes, nearly lost her mind trying to explain why the CEO wanted to personally oversee the hiring of a single mother. Employees whispered. Accusations of favoritism spread. Mia fell sick. The second week. Hospital bills piled up again. Adrian faced backlash when he reopened part of the textile division, not because it was profitable, but because it was necessary. Shareholders threatened lawsuits. The board called him emotional. They were right. One evening, Adrian visited Lena's small apartment. He brought soup, not gifts, soup. This isn't charity, Lena said, tired but stronger now. I know, Adrian replied. It's responsibility. She looked at him for a long time. You didn't have to hear me that day. But I did, he said. And now I can't unhear it. Months passed. Lena grew into her role, proposing changes that saved costs without sacrificing workers. Adrian listened. For the first time in years, he listened. Mia started school in clean clothes that fit. She learned to read quickly. She still remembered the cake. One afternoon, she asked Adrian, Are you rich? He smiled sadly. Yes. Then why were you lonely before? The question hit harder than any audit. I didn't know how to share, he admitted. The real test came when a major investor pulled out, citing emotional leadership. Adrian stood before the board, heart steady. We don't just build companies, he said. We build lives. If that's a weakness, then I accept it. Silence. Then slowly applause. Not all agreed. Some left, but enough stayed. On Mia's 7th birthday, the bakery bell chimed again. Freya. This time, Lena walked in confidently, holding her daughter's hand. Adrian followed behind, no longer hiding. What would you like today? The cashier asked. Mia grinned. The freshest cake you have. Lena laughed, tears shining. And we'll pay for it. Adrian watched them, heart full, tot full. Because sometimes a single question, do you have an expired cake, isn't about cake at all. It's about dignity. And sometimes hearing everything changes everything.